Hi, I'm Glenn. Welcome to Clairmont Farms. We're going to talk about how we distill lavender oil here today. This is our steam distiller that was made for us by a company in Portugal called the Hoga Company. It's all copper and it's all handmade and it's all very simple, and I'm going to show you how it works. I'll have some other photos after this part of the video with a little bit of voiceover that we can do that shows you the inner workings of it. It's very simple. Underneath all of it is a propane burner, which is fueled by a gas bottle just like your propane grill. That makes a fire underneath. We put about 4 to 6 inches of water up to about here in it, and then that water of course boils with the application of the fire. In this column here, which is called the rotating column because it's hinged, and when the load is done it rotates over so it's easy to empty. If you're scooping out this big pot, it's a lot of work. So this has a sieve in the bottom of it. It keeps the lavender out of the bottom. Steam comes up through the lavender. The lavender oil boils at about 180 degrees. So steam at atmospheric pressure at probably about 210 or 11 degrees here at almost 800 feet in California is plenty to vaporize the oil. So it doesn't run under any pressure at all. In fact, one of the nice things about this design is if this were to get plugged, where you could have an overpressure, it's just a press fit, so it would just pop up and relieve its own pressure. So the steam comes up through the sieve, comes up through the load, which is lavender. We distill from lavender buds mostly. Stems and leaves don't yield very much oil at all, if any. So, and they take up a lot of space. So in terms of conserving energy and work, we separate the buds first and then distill only the buds. This cylinder will hold 50 pounds of lavender buds, which is about 100 to 150 plants worth. To exhaust the oil from the load, it takes about 2 hours once the unit is up to temperature. It takes it about 30 minutes to heat up once you've started, as long as it isn't a cold or windy day. And we actually wrap it with some cloth to help keep the wind from blowing the heat away. Again, it's all copper, so it gives up heat readily. Steam comes up through the lavender. That makes the lavender oil boil. So you then vaporize both water and oil. Coming through the top, this is called the onion. Oil vapor and steam come up through here and then go into this part, which is called the condenser. Condenser is very simple. There's a pipe that goes in the top. It comes in and it coils around and it has water in it up to about here. And then the end of the pipe comes out over here. And when you condense oil vapor and steam, you get, of course, oil and water. Now think of salad dressing. The oil floats on the top. It's the same with this oil. It's a light oil. Think of something along the weight of turpentine or lighter. It's also a very flammable oil. And of course, it's a very fragrant oil, which is why we do it. So oil and water come into this device, which is called a Florentine separator. And they come in here. The oil will float up the top and come out here. The feed for the water exit goes down to the bottom, so the water comes up here. And if you were to look at it very closely, you'll notice that the lip of the input is slightly higher than the output of the oil. So gravity is really the motor that makes this engine work. So the weight of this column pushes down, the oil comes up and it comes out, and we'll see that working later. Running this unit for about 2 to 2.5 hours will exhaust the load, as I said. In other words, all the oil will be extracted from the buds. So there's really no point in distilling it twice afterwards because you've already gotten it all. In fact, when it starts working, it's right at the beginning of when the oil starts to produce that you get the most. As time goes by, you get less and less and less. In fact, if you just watch the drip coming out of that separator that I just showed you, when it slows down and almost stops dripping, you're done. It's really easy to tell when you're done because it quits. The water keeps coming. The water is actually called hydrosol. Now, both of these substances have medicinal purposes that people have used for years. The hydrosol smells a little bit like witch hazel, and it's a nice astringent, and it's a nice toner to put on the face. The lavender oil, of course, is good for all kinds of healing items. If you go to our website, www.clairmontfarms.com, we have a page on there called Lavender Info. One of them is a list of all the different things that lavender oil has been known to do over the centuries. As I said, this process was invented in about 1800, in about the 8th century AD in the Arab world. The inventor of distillation was actually an alchemist. So alchemy has turned into science, actually, a little bit. So what we'll do now is we'll go over to some of the other pictures and we'll show you how it works.